Hello, Internet. The Morgan You Know podcast network presents Balls and Brew.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the flagship sports podcast here on the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. My name is Rod Morgan. I will serve as your affable host. Joining me is Jimmy Jamriska, the producer of this podcast. Also joining us is our guy, Chris King, down there in North Carolina. We are mostly going to talk NBA playoffs. We will do that here in a few minutes, and Jimmy will take back over hosting. But I want to start with something that I like an awful lot, and that is the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby. Jimmy, we just had a wrestling show. A big wrestling announcement was made during the middle of the Derby coverage. Just wonderful synergy there between NBC Universal and the WWE, wasn't there?
So amazing. I didn't even watch it. It's great. I'm sure the horses ran around the track and everyone did well.
Oh, Jimmy. So you didn't see the big Triple H promo for WrestleMania being in Las Vegas. You didn't see the closest finish of Derby horses in quite a long time.
I saw the picture. It was a nice picture. Yeah, we kind of thought it was going to be in Vegas because I guess everything's going in Vegas now with UFC and WWE. That'll be fine. It'll be an amazing weekend, and people will. It'll be an interesting weekend in Vegas.
Chris, are you excited for Easter Sunday? Also 420 in Las Vegas, WrestleMania.
Hit them all, baby.
Is Riddle coming back? That's what I want to know.
No, I can tell you that right now.
I would say that would be the time for him to come back, but they are going to probably put the Sphere to use more during that weekend than anybody else has. That'll be real fun.
That's a good call by you. And that Sphere really has to freak a guy like you out, as old as you are. You really can't understand what's going on with that Sphere. But I want to talk about Mystic Dan. All right. The horse came in, photo finish just ahead of number 2, and number 2 photo finish just ahead of number 3. That's absolutely amazing. That is the pageantry and the excitement of the best 2.5 minutes in sports. And Jimmy, come on. Next year, I know you got softball and you got all these other, and you got, I mean, I know you're a busy man, but come on, 2.5 minutes, Jimmy. We can carve out 2.5 minutes to watch the ponies run next year.
We should do a live. Well, you have too much fun on that. I think you need to not work during that 2.5 minutes, but I'll watch it every now and then. Yeah. But I was on the third baseline, watching our daughter go, I think 3 wins in a row before losing in the championship game. It was a long day, but a good day, I guess.
All right, there you go. Then I suppose that's okay. But I was excited for the Kentucky Derby. Shout out to NBC on their coverage. Mike Tirico does an absolutely fabulous job. Eddie O and all the other horse handicappers on there. Randy Moss, the guys, they just do a great job. The ambiance. Love watching the Derby coverage every year. But you know what I love watching even more than the Kentucky Derby? And that is NBA basketball. Jimmy's going to have some questions for us. We're going to run the fast break. Let's go.
Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. I'm Jimmy Rod, and Chris are here because, well, we haven't been talking that long on the show. I literally don't know where to start today, so I'm going to start where I think we all want to start. The Celtics beat the Cavaliers by 39 points today, so let's go Celtics. There we go. Rod, you got that in. That Pacers-Knicks game from the other night was everything the Pacers needed it to be, except for 2 things. Number 1, Tyrese Halliburton forgot how to play basketball, especially in that fourth quarter. And number 2, what is a moving screen anymore? I don't know, but I know that was not one in the fourth quarter of an NBA game. I just think that had to be a wake-up call to the Knicks where we're in trouble. Pacers did a great job, but Rod, Jalen Brunson is just amazing. So what are we going to do? Chris, I know you can't talk right now, Chris. You're still sorry. You're still upset about it. I'm going to Rod first, then we'll get you, okay?
It's just an absolute bummer, right? Like, I love that Chris pointed out in our last wrestling show that somebody coming in off the streets could pick up on a tournament, right? And someone coming in, a casual basketball fan, watching that basketball game probably had the time of their life for about 45 minutes of that game. And then the last 3 minutes of the game, they had to turn
30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. They had to turn to whoever they were watching with and be like, what exactly is happening here? Why does this guy keep walking over here and keep looking into camera and telling us about this thing that just happened there before? And how come they're telling me something different than what I can see here on the screen? And how come I saw this thing out here, but they can't look at the screen on this, even though they just looked at the screen on the other one? It was a complete travesty. I'll give the referees a break on the kicked ball. That's tough to see in time. But I don't understand why, if we're going to have all these stoppages, we can't look at if it was kicked ball or not. That's the easiest thing to tell on a replay. So if we're going to have all these stoppages, let's just make that one that you can have there. And then the moving screen, come on. We see moving screens all year long that are allowed. And on the percentile of moving screens that aren't called, that one was way low. All right. There's been guys that have moved way more and mauled guys way more that haven't been called for a moving screen. Hell, Jalen Brunson earlier in the game about decapitated Miles Turner, and it was just, normal contact. So I don't understand what we're doing. I don't want to verge on the brink of conspiracy here and say, oh, they're against the small market, but it's an absolute bummer that game was sullied by the referees at the end.
So, Chris, I don't know about you, but I do like the more physical NBA that we've had. I really do. I think it's good, but it's gone a little far, and with the physicality sometimes, especially at the last play of the game. Halliburton traveled 3 times and got body slammed, but no call was made. But then they make these little ticky-tack, we got to find a balance there, Chris, somewhere, right?
You want them. Okay, so there's a lot to go over. Okay, first off, the ref didn't call it a moving screen after the review. The official call was that Turner did not give the opposing player enough room to turn and make a move.
What does that mean, by the way?
I have no idea. It's the first time I ever heard it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So then...
hey, I'm screening you. Hey, like I do that. I'm sorry, Chris. I apologize. I'll give you the time. I do that at noon ball, okay? Because I've got a 67-year-old guy that doesn't see me coming. I'm a big guy, all right? I'm on your right. I'll do that. You don't do that in the NBA. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, and realistically, your teammate needs to be hollering out like, "Hey, screen on your right." Like listen, that's basic basketball, all right? But you want the referees to be consistent the entire game. If you are calling these fouls, or if you're letting them play in the first 10 minutes of the game, you have to let them play in the last 10 minutes. You can't expect the players to automatically change how they're playing just because it's the last 5 minutes of the game and the officials are going to call it differently than they have for the other 43 minutes of that game.
Especially if it's the opposite. If it's like more ticky-tack in the last, and then, I didn't get that, but it was a lot of fun. It was a real good game. I think the Pacers now know that they can win. Lot of minutes.
Jimmy, are you worried though? Are you worried that the Pacers, like, that was their bullet? You know what I mean? Like, that was their bullet, and like, you know what I mean? Like, that's if you can't win that game, how are you going to win another game in the series? But I guess Mitchell Robinson is out now, so Tibbs has got to play even less guys.
Yeah, he's only going to play 4 guys now. I don't know how that's possible. I still think, and it is an excuse, so I agree that's an excuse, but I still think we're going to find out Halliburton's got something going on, at the end of the season or something.
I thought he was been nursing that calf injury.
He has been, and but he threw it to nobody like twice, got the ball stolen. That is not him.
Yeah, listen.
Where do we come down on this? I find
you're really picking on 2 of our 7 turnovers of the game.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that, like, the ones that just stick in my head are like, what are you even trying to do there?
So earlier this year, Rod came to me during this podcast and asked me, did he need to be really concerned about Boston because they blew a late fourth quarter lead to some no-name team that I can't remember? And I was like, I think you're overreacting a bit. You may be overreacting a little bit, Jimmy, on 2 errant passes, all right? I get it. It doesn't look great because we have built him up. He's an all-star. We don't want to see him play like that. And he didn't play well, all right, at all. There's a reason that McConnell got a whole lot of run last night.
McConnell has been very good this playoffs.
I mean,
he really is good. Go ahead, Rod.
Shout out TJ. TJ. But I have a question here. It's like it's a overall philosophy sports question related to Halliburton here, okay? I think the only thing we can point to with Tyrese Halliburton is there was a consistent conversation during the second half of the year after he did that wild splits move in the in-season tournament, right? About his hamstring and having to nurse that. And then they made it a point of telling us Tyrese wanted to come back and play the minimum 20 minutes a night and play the minimum 65 games so that he could make one of the 3 All-NBA teams and get the bonus. Now, my question to you is, as a fan of the Pacers, do you say to yourself, yes, Tyrese, get yourself all that money? Or do you say to yourself, hey, maybe Tyrese, let's go ahead and just sit out and miss the 65 games this year. It's better for the overall team, and maybe you can make it up on the back end. What do you say to yourself as a Pacer fan in that situation, Jimmy? I found that interesting.
I got to say, go for the money, unfortunately. I mean, you only have one chance. You never know what's going to happen. I think you got to get paid. I mean, that's tens and 25. I mean, it's a lot of, it's a lot to do that, but you're right. I mean, he hurt himself, and double-edged sword. He's not going to get one of the 3 teams. And he went through all that for nothing, apparently.
Let me ask you this, because this is where I would fall in it, because I do see that point, and I lean that direction. But the real question is, what is the above average replacement of him for those 25 minutes? Is he at this strength? Is he still better than the above 6th man on another team that's going to come in and replace him?
Well, it was McConnell, and I mean, literally, it's McConnell, and he's playing a lot better.
And he's getting more minutes right now in these last couple games too. So there's your real answer. I mean, but it took this long, and I have to say, I can't necessarily think that I can guarantee a McConnell to play this well for an entire series.
Well, I mean,
I just want to point out one other thing
against Milwaukee.
Yeah. Well, listen, we hear so often during the series, and we shouldn't be surprised because there's New York media bias, but we hear, oh, the Knicks are injured. Julius Randle's out, and the Knicks are so banged up. You know who you never hear is out for the Pacers that would be a pretty solid guy in their rotation? Benedict Mathurin. All right. Like, it's never mentioned that Benedict Mathurin is lost from this Pacer team. And that would be a guy who would be playing over some of Nemhard's minutes and some of Shepard, right? The rookies' minutes. You know what I mean? Maybe he'd even be getting some run in spots where Isaiah Jackson has been in. So, but nobody ever mentions that the Pacers have an injury to suffer.
No, the Pacers are still deep.
Jalen Smith too, by the way. Jalen Smith really played well. I mean, I saw a lot of Pacers games this year, and he was a very big asset for them. And he's gone as well. Now, I mean, I can't believe we led with that, and we also have the biggest story in the NBA too, which is apparently we have the new number 1 player, best player in the league, in Anthony Edwards. The Timberwolves dismantled the Nuggets without the newly crowned back-to-back defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert. Congrats to Rudy and his wife on the new child. 106-80. Like, it was over in the first quarter, guys. Rod, it's 2-0. It's 2-0 T-Wolves going home.
I think what we saw a little bit of last night is why we love fiery, right? We love fiery, and that makes for entertaining. But I think when Mike Malone absolutely lost his shit, and pardon my French there, Jimmy, but he did early in that game and went running out at the referees. I think that basically then gave the Nuggets to just absolutely lose their minds the rest of the game. So you saw those guys doing nothing but crying and moping, and Jamal Murray's throwing things on the court, and it was not a very good display from them. And like, as much as I get mad about guys like Rick Carlisle that basically just seem to be like zombies doing almost nothing over there on the sideline, perhaps the even keel is a better way to handle teams, because going crazy last night and going berserk, and I guarantee Malone yelled at him at halftime, didn't seem to do anything for the Nuggets. So maybe don't lose your shit in the first place, Mike. How about that one?
Hey, Chris, if I find you $125, would that suck?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's kind of an equivalent, a bad equivalent, but a kind of an equivalent to $100,000 fine for Jamal Murray for being angry that they were getting their butts kicked, essentially. Can you imagine a world where you had to write a check for $100,000 for throwing a temper tantrum?
I live in that world. We all do, Jimmy. People sign contracts and have to adhere to those contracts. And if they don't adhere to those contracts, they will be disciplined as per those contracts or the collective bargaining agreement therein. And that's exactly what has happened.
Wait a minute.
You just use the word therein, Chris.
Also, at the beginning of this podcast, you were railing against people being corporate as if you're anti-establishment.
I mean, that's a completely different podcast. That's we know.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure we're talking NBA now.
This is your This is your shoot, Chris. The other one's a gimmick. I see your game. Now, $100,000 fine is basically the
No, and
NBA
thank
saying
goodness,
something.
Jimmy, I will answer that question as well.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I've never been fined for temper tantrums, all right? Because I am able to look inside myself and realize who I am. And if I would have been fined money for temper tantrums over the year, I would be way in the hole and probably bankrupt right now.
Yeah, you luckily we're all fine on this podcast based on our salary for the podcast, so we're all doing good there.
right.
So another great series that we thought was going to happen, really not with that T-Wolves Nuggets, but we did have.
But wait, we got to give Anthony
yeah.
Edwards love. You're right.
Oh
You
yeah.
started it
We
that
Yeah, we
way.
do.
You started it that way, and I sidetracked us with my Mike Malone thing. But I really was. I was disappointed. The guy's won a ring, and you got to comport yourself better than that. But Anthony Edwards, my goodness, go ahead, son. All right. We know that development is linear. So I want to say to people, calm down. I'm not trying to rain on the parade, but like calm down. Just because this guy's doing things faster than other players did doesn't mean he's just going to continue rising up the mountain. He still is up in Minnesota. Their ownership situation is up in the air. Their salary tax bill is huge. I say all of that to say Anthony Edwards may have to get it done this year. This might be the most optimal situation for him as a Minnesota Timberwolf to win the championship. And I did not think at any point I would be scared of the Nuggets as a Celtics fan, the Wolves, and I am terrified. I am terrified of that Wolves team right now.
This is their window, Chris. There is no this right now is their window. They need to win it.
Yeah, no, I think you guys are right. I think this is their window, and I think they are playing as well as we've ever seen this group of guys play right now, right? And I know that I wasn't a real believer in Edwards when he first got to the league. There was a lot of people out there saying this guy's great. He's going to be the next thing. And I was a little hesitant, but like, let me tell you, this season in particular, not just what he's done lately in the playoffs, but this season in particular, he's really made me a believer more than ever before. This dude has, he does. He has this killer instinct that he just does what he needs to do. Defense, offense, he gets stocks. I love that. How can I not love this guy?
Stocks, yeah.
And it looks like he's having fun 95% of the time on the court as well. How can you not enjoy watching him play?
That's a huge part.
I liked too that no Timberwolf played over 40 minutes in that game. They really didn't need to, but still it's nice that they got a lot of other people in. When you look at like a team at the Knicks that they literally play 6 people and they're all playing over 40 minutes, they're getting exhausted in games like this. And I'm going to transition right now. Games like the Celtics Cavs tonight, where you could take your foot off the gas a little bit, put it on the brakes because you were up so much. I think if you want the Celtics to win this series, if you're betting on it, you have to bet like $3 million to get $100 back right now. Cavs, they're cute. It's nice. This is terrific for the Celtics, Rod. I know you're excited because they can wait on Kristaps even longer. Hopefully he comes back, but they can even push that back a little bit now.
I don't know, Jim. Did you watch Luke Cornett this evening? I mean, I'm not entirely sure that we need Kristaps to hustle back at any point.
Okay,
all
yeah.
Right? I mean, we also
for next year.
We saw Kada, right? We saw Kada at the end of the game get a little bit of run. We saw some O'Shea Brissett get some.
We
run.
saw some people I didn't know were in the league, which is really on both teams actually.
Deep
it was kind of fun
there. Deep Celtics cuts there. But no, listen, Donovan Mitchell still scares me. But here's the thing: he's all the Cavs have, and he looks to be beat up, right? Like I don't like being a guy that says this, but I sort of look at Donovan Mitchell and I'm like, hey, bud, like, take it easy. You know what I mean? Like, you still got a career past this. Like, this Cavs team is dead on arrival around you. Like, don't hurt yourself here, guy.
Don't go too hard because the Heat are going to be upset if you do that. Yeah. And then we have the Mavericks Thunder. That's actually going on as our live audience knows as we speak right now. It looks like Mavs are up at in the second quarter, but it's really early still, and I think that's going to be a pretty cool series.
Kyrie, listen, Kyrie radar.
Your boy.
Be up. Kyrie radar should be up. He was messing around on Twitter today, right? Like it wasn't any the world is flat or like any of the other nonsense that he's gotten involved in, right? But like he was like really zeroing in on one ESPN reporter saying he can't wait to stick it to them because he predicted that Dallas would lose. And Kyrie was inferring that a guy who's paid to cover the Mavericks shouldn't pick against the Mavericks. But it turns out Tim McMahon didn't actually even
He
pick
didn't.
anybody in the series. No. But the weirder part is that like guys are saying things and Kyrie's firing back on him on Twitter. And I'm just saying radar should be up a little bit, right? Like we were all praising Kyrie. We were all saying he's turned the corner and just radar should be up. He has a track record. Radar should be up.
Rod was leading that charge that, hey, good for you, Kyrie. So maybe Kyrie's been listening to the pod, heard Rod say, oh, he's a believer now. I can let loose a little bit.
Well, we never know what's going to happen in the NBA. And next week at this time, Kyrie could be suspended. The Nuggets could be up 3-2. Anything can happen for sure in the NBA. Really appreciate everyone listening, our live audience. Thank you very much. This has been the NBA Fast Break on the More You Know Podcasting Network.
Hey, listen, I want to say something else here real quick. Jimmy just said thanks for listening. We absolutely appreciate that. But I want to say give us a comment, right? And normally what I say is to give us a comment is to help people find this podcast. I'm not going to say that this time. I'm going to say do it for me. I want to see someone put a comment up there and say something nice about this podcast so I can feel good about the work that we are putting in every week, all right? Don't do it to get other people to listen to this. Do it for me. I'm selfish.
Goodbye, Internet.